and welcome back. This is Don't Watch at Night, a spooky little podcast dedicated to Latin American horror and Spanish language horror. I'm your host, Valerie.
And I'm Veronica.
Veronica. Happy National Margarita Day, Veronica.
I guess.
At the time of this recording.
And like of all the drinks, like tequila is like, no thank you, pass.
It is. At the time of this recording, it's National Margarita Day. It won't be by the time you guys hear it, but anyway.
Can you make a margarita without tequila, or does it has to be tequila?
Well, so there was a place in Austin that did no, I'm getting it wrong. Yeah, it's generally tequila. Okay, but what tequila. They would do like a margarita mix and then pina colada mix, and they would combine it, and it actually was really tasty in their margaritas. I forget what the name of that place was called, but it was pretty good. How's everything going for you?
Pina colada. Busy, just always busy. Well, work sucks. Yeah, but work is like draining the soul out of me. I'm slowly dying inside.
I've entered that stage where it's like we are almost close to the end of the school year. This was my first year back into teaching, and I can see the end on the horizon. We're getting there, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Ron, are you familiar? I wanted to talk about this. Are you familiar with this movie that's coming out? I want to say next month, called The Bride.
Just little snippets of trailer that I've seen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mention it because there was an Entertainment Weekly spread that came out on it. We'll link it for you guys in show notes. It came out a few weeks ago. And I had been somewhat peripherally familiar with the movie, Maggie Gyllenhaal interpretation of this story. But I didn't know very much about it. And so now to understand that it's basically 1930s Chicago setting, it's just very cool. And the photo shoot that they did accompanying this interview with Jessie Buckley, is that right? Jessie Buckley is going to be in it, and she's Academy Award nominated for Hamnet. She's a very good actress, but she's going to be playing the bride, I believe. And so the photo shoot is gorgeous. I'll link it for you guys so you can look at the photos from it if you haven't already. Super excited for it now. Christian Bale and who else? There's other people in this movie. I was looking at the full cast: Jake Gyllenhaal, Penelope Cruz, Annette Bening. Just a lot of good people. Peter Sarsgaard.
So is it like a take on Frankenstein's Bride?
Yeah, it's kind of like a different take on it. It's 1930 Chicago, and the story essentially of the monster approaching the scientist to create a companion for him. That's all somewhat true of the original story, but it's tweaked a little bit, and it's set in this newer, more contemporary setting, which I think is really cool. So I'm excited, like the noir aspect of it. Well, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to talk about it any more than for people who just don't want to know anything about it. So, but it's supposed to be coming out, I think, March 6th is supposed to be the release date here in the US. So it's coming. Anyway, well, you know what we watched this morning? We watched the men's hockey team win the gold.
Oh, I haven't watched any Olympics.
No Olympics. Alex woke up at like 7 this morning to watch the game. And so I was awake in time to see the end of it. So we did see them win. And this is like the first, I didn't realize it because I don't really care. But for men's hockey, this was the first time in Alex's and my lifetime to see them win gold. This is Editor Val coming in to say, mere hours later, the U.S. men's hockey team would do something just totally douchebaggish and obliterate all goodwill. And so I can tell you, I don't give one tiny little rat's ass about these men winning the gold medal. But I did choose not to edit this out, primarily because of the hilarious thing Veronica says in just a few seconds. So back to it, because the last time they won gold was in 1980.
Yeah, I don't care. America's a shit show, so don't care if they win gold.
That's going to be where I edit. That's going to be where
As usual, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie, you've been warned. So we watched Bingo. Am I saying this right? Bingo Hell. Enunciate. Yeah. Enunciation is important. Bingo Hell from 2021, so it's been out for a few years. This is part of the Blumhouse movies. For those that are interested in that. So the tagline reads, in the barrio of Oak Springs live a strong and stubborn group of elderly friends who refuse to be gentrified. Their leader, Lupita, keeps them together as a community and family. But little did they know their beloved bingo hall is about to be sold to a much more powerful force than money itself. Apparently, it's a I can't talk today. Directorial debut by Gigi Saul Guerrero, and stars Adrian Barrera, L. Scott Caldwell, Joshua Caleb Johnson, Richard Brake, Clayton Landy, Jonathan Medina, Bertilla Damas, Grover Coulson, and Kelly Angel. Or Angel. I don't know how she says that. But yeah, it was a short little ditty, just a hair under an hour and a half long. What were your initial impressions of this movie?
I thought it was fun. I had a good time. I couldn't help but notice that a lot of the reviews that we've linked for you guys are largely negative. I thought it was great. This is actually her first full length feature directorial debut, but we've seen her work before. Yeah, in Satanic Hispanics, she was the one who directed that segment that was like in like the wilderness, and there, and she had. Do you remember?
Yeah,
it was the one that we didn't really get it. We didn't really get what the story was, but it like
the concept, or was that it?
Yes,
something like that.
Yeah, but the concept of it was cool. So that was her. That was directed by her, Gigi Saul Guerrero. So yeah, I thought it was fun. What did you think of it?
Well, I will kind of piggyback on what you said as far as like, I think the concept was cool. I don't think it quite landed for me. Yeah, we can get into more of the specifics, but so like visuals. Not the best movie that we've watched, in my opinion. For this podcast.
but not the worst either. It was fun. Visuals are cool, very surrealist horror. But I can see what people say when they talk about how like the story felt not totally fully fleshed out, and even at an hour. I mean, I thought pacing wise, it moved okay, but kind of like the second half of the film, you're like, let's just get there. Let's wrap it up. So I don't know. But I overall,
because it really didn't, like, I was looking at the time left on the movie, and it was like 15 minutes left, and I was like, okay, how is this going to end? Because
there's a lot to wrap up, and we're running out of time. But I mean, there's things that I really enjoyed about it. Like I really loved, what was her name? Hold on, I wrote it down. I'm not working off notes because I didn't have time to print them out. So Dolores, her friend Dolores. I really liked her.
Okay,
their dynamic was fun.
Is the only one that looked familiar to me, but her name does not ring a bell. L. Scott Caldwell. Like, I've seen her in stuff before.
Yes, you have. I did not know her name either, but she's a very recognizable actress. And I went and looked up what else she's done because I was like, I know this woman.
Yeah.
The stuff that she's most known for. Oh, Devil in a Blue Dress. That's the movie. 1995's Devil in a Blue Dress. She was in that. But yeah.
I know where I know her from. I have to go all the way back to like 2004. She was in Lost. Like at least the first few seasons. She was in Lost. That's where I know her from. That's where I know it. All right. I blocked Lost a lot from but that's where I know her from.
No, yeah, but she's in stuff dating back to like the 90s and the 80s. So she's been around for a while. So yeah. But she's been in great shows actress.
Like A Million Little Things, Lucifer, All Rise. That was a recent show.
She's been a great actress for a long, long time.
But that's where I know her from Lost.
What did you think of the relationship between Lupita and Dolores? Well, what did you think of like the overall themes of this movie? Like the theme, like gentrification and the evils of gentrification are very prevalent in this movie. It's like slapping you in the face with it. What did you think about that?
I mean, I think it's topical, especially certainly in recent history where housing prices are going up, but people's ability to afford housing is going down because America sucks.
And the loss of culture and community that goes along with that.
And this is one of the aspects where this movie missed for me and kind of didn't really connect where it was supposed to connect, because a lot of the times, like, things that the characters would say, I was getting whiplash. It's like 1 minute they're being supportive, and the next minute it's like blaming Lupita for why they're all still there, which doesn't make any sense. What is she keeping you from leaving at gunpoint? Or it was just like people's emotions would flip flop really quickly, and I was
one
like,
way or the other.
Yeah.
There were elements of the story. It just sort of, which is fine, I think, but there were elements of the story where it just sort of felt like you're getting dropped into a story where you're really scrambling to try and pick up different connections. Like, okay, Lupita, if she had family, if she's on her own at the beginning of this movie, if she had family or, raised children or anything like that, we don't ever find that out. Her friend Dolores had a son, and that's how she has this grandson through this woman who was the partner to her son. What happened to her son? Did he get killed? Did he run? Where did he go? We don't really know. Do you know? Did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's not really covered. There's little backstory things that we don't get. And I understand in some stories you're not going to get that. You're just dropped in and you just go from there. But it might have strengthened this story a little bit to have some of that information to kind of anchor it a little bit better.
Yeah, and like 1 minute the characters were like, this is our home, we're going to fight for it. And the next minute, like, this place sucks and there's no future here for us. And it's like, It was like, we're just ping-ponging back and forth. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense.
At the beginning of the film, and then as the film wore on, I felt this was less true. But at the beginning of the film, Ron, and I may get in trouble for saying this if she listens to this episode, I felt like this could have been our mom, but like rougher around the edges. Obviously, this woman is more, like our mom is so demure and ladylike, and this woman's like jingon, and like she's just like cussing and mouthy, and she wears her little, the little bandana? What does this hairstylist say? Like, don't you think it's time?
Give up the gangster bandana or something.
Yeah, give up the gangster bandana. At the end, when she is like gearing up to fight the evils and she reaches into something, I thought she was going to reach in and pull out some big old gold hoops. But no, she just pulls out some dark red lipstick. Let's see, what else? There's
no consistency. Other than Lupita, the rest of the characters, like, there was not really any consistency, especially with Dolores, because we see her more than we see the other friends. But it's like 1 minute Dolores is being supportive, and the next minute she's telling Lupita, just drop it, forget about it, blah blah blah, and
she's going through it. Like, she's got she probably had the most fleshed out story. Like, we don't know what Lupita's story is, and we don't know what drove her to be the person that helped clean up the neighborhood and everything. Like, what Eric, is that his name, Eric? The young man who runs AA?
Some sort of Addicts Anonymous type of thing.
Evidently, you get the vibe that she and Dolores single-handedly cleaned up the neighborhood, drove out the gangs, cleaned it up, made it a safe space to grow up and be. We don't really get much of her backstory, and what we get from Dolores is just that she's, like I said, she's stuck with this horrible woman who's the mother of her grandson, and this woman just seems to be halfway out the door, and her grandson is like on the brink of just going into full-on juvenile delinquency. But yeah, like the mechanic,
Clarence, and then the other friend was Morris. The only white dude in the friend group.
I did think it was funny when they're all marching into the bingo hall and they're like, let's go deal with this white guy. And he goes, maybe he's not white. And they all turn back and they're like, he's white.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But it's a very like Faustian bargain, parable, what have you, that this story is, with the stranger coming in from out of town who, in my mind, I'm just like, well, that's the devil, or that's, something, that's a demon, that's something. One of the items of feedback that is listed in multiple reviews is like, we don't really know much about this guy. He kind of comes in off the wind and we don't know anything about him. He's not a fleshed out evil. And so therefore, in this reviewer's mind, not very scary. I don't know.
He was creepy. Like, I was like, please stop smiling, because it's very disturbing. It's like one of the reviews called him shark-like, and then I was like, I don't know if anybody remembers the Finding Nemo when Dory's like meets up with the sharks, and that one big shark when he smiles, and it's like, that's exactly his smile.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's sort of listed according to Google, by the way, guys. It's just, I would classify it as like surrealist horror. If Gigi Saul Guerrero were to say that David Lynch was somebody that inspires her, I would not be surprised. I feel like there's very trippy, dreamy elements in this film.
See, and I don't know if that style
works
is my
for
cup
you.
of tea.
Okay,
it's like the camera work and the sudden close-ups and the maniacal laughter. It's just not my cup of tea. I was like, it just went on too long. It was a little too much.
It was like a beat too long.
Yeah, maybe she had like pulled back on it just a little bit. I was like, okay.
There are some gooey sounds in this film.
I don't even get the green slime. Like, well, why?
It's never really explained.
Like,
yeah,
why?
Like it's not really understood. That opening scene, with the guy who initially owned the bingo hall,
Morris.
what's his name? Morris?
Morris.
Who comes into his home with a briefcase, and then you see him like stuffing his face with something.
I know. I thought it was going to be like super gross.
I know. I thought it was going to be like something cannibalistic, and then it just turns out it's the bingo balls. I'm like, well,
the
what?
Plastic bingo balls.
And yeah, there's just slime all over the money, and you're like, what is that about? I don't know. Where would you like? How would you rank this film in terms of gore or gruesomeness? I think the only other death that I found particularly disturbing was Clarence, but primarily because I didn't want that to happen to Clarence. I was like, no.
I didn't think any of the friend group was going to die. And here's the other thing. I thought, based on just like the little, because I don't watch trailers, as everybody knows, I've said this over and over. I don't watch trailers, and that was true for this one too. But when you sign into Amazon, you see the little blurb that Amazon gives you. So I thought it was going to be, oh, cool. This is going to be like a group of senior citizens that all band together to battle this evil, and that's not what we got. Like all her friends pretty much just kind of flake out. All of them actually fall under the spell.
Yeah.
And so it's really just Lupita. So I was kind of bummed that I didn't get my senior citizen Avengers moment.
Rise up.
I mean, you kind of get it at the end when they finally snap out of it, but for the most part, they just fold really easily.
That's that flip-floppiness that you're talking about, where it's like they kind of flop on her and just decide, no, we're gonna get our payout, and it's very interesting. I can't remember. I just watched this last night. I can't remember specifically how it's addressed in the film, but I do think that this was something that they did fairly well. At least help the audience understand a little bit better where the impulse might be to want to take that payout, just like it gets. I think it's Dolores. It's Dolores who maybe during, they're drinking together and they're upset, and I think it's her who lays it out really well for Lupita to understand that it's like it's hard to continue fighting a battle that you've already lost or something like that. It's just like the uphill slog of it, where it's just like you're constantly What's the name of that person who's constantly rolling the boulder up the hill? Sisyphus. It's very Sisyphusian, whatever. Sisyphusian. So I get that. I get that, even though I still say, hey, fight for your community, I guess. Although I do agree with the message that we receive at the end with Lupita realizing the community is us. A neighborhood is just a neighborhood, but the community is us. And so long as we maintain that sense of belonging and cultural togetherness, then that's what's worth preserving.
And I was kind of side-eyeing when Dolores is, I don't know if she's legally her daughter-in-law, but her grandson's mother,
yes,
who wins the first bingo pot, and then she's just like out, I'm rich, and buying, and I'm like, lady, it's $10,000, which I don't want to say it's just $10,000, but realistically, if you think about it, that's not even a year's rent.
No, I understand. No,
it's not going to last you very long, lady.
I don't mean to say that like that money isn't valuable money, but we all know the cost of things here these days.
It's like
that's
when you see her the next day, for a year.
When you see her the next day coming in with all these shopping bags and stuff, I'm like, well, you just blew like half of that.
Yeah.
Now when Clarence gets his, what does he get? $100,000 or something? I was like, well, no, that's a little bit more.
What did you think about their deaths? What was the daughter-in-law's name? Does she have a name? Did the
trashy one?
Yeah.
Raquel.
Raquel and Clarence, their deaths.
Well, okay. So like I said, I was really sad for Clarence. With Raquel, I think I kind of saw it coming. I do think in terms of gore and nothing was like overtly egregiously gory in this film. So I'll say that. It was all very doable. I was able to get through it, no problem. It is kind of gruesome to watch her like peeling through her skin and ripping,
like digging in, because I think in her mind she's just ripping off her dress, her clothing.
Yeah, I saw that coming though from the jump. I was just thinking he's gonna, because we saw what happens with Morris. So I was just like, anybody who wins the payout is obviously sending their soul over. I think he says at one point to Lupita, we feed off souls,
we feed off pathetic souls or things.
Yeah. I wasn't so much troubled by her death. I do think from a gore standpoint, it was effectively done. I was disturbed by Clarence's death. I'm not even sure. Like, I understand he was ingesting chemicals that he believed was beer. But then when he sticks, and then there's like blood spraying when he sticks his hands or whatever into the engine part of the car. I'm not sure what happened there. And I'm okay with not knowing.
Later on when Lupita shows up and it just shows his body like on the floor with a bunch of blood everywhere.
Bunch of blood.
His hand was basically gone, so he just kind of kept shoving it in that fan until the whole thing was just.
I didn't see that.
Eventually hit your
yeah.
whatever that vein is that people use when they.
I didn't
try
see
to
that. I'm
unalive
glad
themselves,
I didn't see that.
so,
I was just like,
bled out.
oh, that's not good.
No.
I was sad. Here's the death I was sad for. I was sad about Eric.
Yeah.
Because he seemed to me like he had battled his demons and he was even trying to mentor that young kid. What's
Dolores' grandson.
Yes, Dolores' grandson.
Caleb.
Trying to rescue him and pull him back from the brink of going down the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed like the one most capable of withstanding temptation. And then let's just say the devil presents him with that temptation and
didn't hesitate.
He didn't hesitate. And I was just like, dang, I kind of expected you to stick it out a little bit longer, dude.
Yeah. Like he was supposed to help Lupita, because he was the only one at that point that was still not under that wasn't already under the influence of
that actor, Jonathan Medina. I recognized him from.
I didn't recognize anybody else.
Well, see, he did a little show and it was only one season long called Primo. And it's from writer-producer Shea Serrano. And it's a really good show. And it only lasted one season. I think it's like an Amazon Prime series. It only lasted one season. I thought it was hilarious. But it's just like, it's all Latino family. And he was it's like the show centers around this kid and his single mom. He's being raised by his mother and then like his, I think 4 or 5 Theos. And so this was one of the Theos. This guy, Jonathan Medina, is one of the Theos in the show. And so it's just really fun. It's a comedy, like a 30-minute sitcom-y style show. And I enjoyed it, but it only lasted one season. What did you think of, I guess, like the ending or the second half of the film? Once the bingo guy shows up.
Well, initially I was like, why is this guy setting up shop in this community? But then when we get the one little line about we feed off desperate souls, and I'm like, well, who's we? But anyway.
We don't get enough.
We don't know about this bad guy, but so then I was like, okay, well, he chose this town or this suburb of wherever they're living because it's kind of a down and out community. The old people or the original inhabitants of this community, most of them have sold and moved out because, the hipster coffee shops are coming. And I think Dolores mentions tech companies. So it's kind of eroding that old, like you said, that old culture.
And you kind of see that at the beginning. Like we see that new coffee shop emerging. The local salon lady is kind of, I get the impression she's struggling to make rent or something. The lease on her space, she's struggling to make rent. And that's part of like what the movie does at the beginning. The job that it does is, you see Lupita and Dolores running their bingo night and collecting the earnings, the pot, you should say, like the payout pot, the winner of bingo night, rather than taking that, they all kind of just collectively agree to give it to the salon lady who needs it the most. And so it's just sort of setting that example again of how this is a close-knit community of seniors and people who have been there for a long time, taking care of each other. That was nice to see. Yeah, like the second half of the film, one of the beefs that some reviews had was just sort of, it seemed like for all of his evilness and all of his power, the demon the guy, Mr. Big, is sort of easily overcome with like a bullet and then just getting the daylights beat out of him by the seniors.
They were very aggressive. They were working out a lot of hostility there. I was like, dang.
It felt a little grindhouse
They were going to town on him.
The gore,
but,
the lighting up of the loot, which seemed to be the thing that killed him.
We gotta burn the money.
Can't we put the money towards rebuilding the community center? I'm trying to think of like what else from the ending jumped out at me. Apparently, separate of what I was about to say, apparently a lot of this was filmed in New Orleans.
Oh, interesting. I would have thought they would have filmed it like in LA somewhere.
One thing to know about Adriana Barraza, she is the 3rd Mexican-born actress to be nominated for an Academy Award.
Where has she been in?
So what she was nominated for is Babel, I think, a movie called Babel that came out in 2006, which I never saw, but it was Brad Pitt and what's this woman's name? The hell's her name? Cate Blanchett and Gael Garcia Bernal, and then Adriana Barraza was in this film. So she was nominated for that. The only other 2 people from Mexico that have been the Mexican-born actresses to be nominated were Katie Jurado and Salma Hayek. What was Salma Hayek nominated for? I don't remember that.
Was it that Frida Kahlo movie?
Maybe it was. Maybe so. Had to have been. I think Gigi Saul Guerrero is a very interesting director. This being like the second thing that we've seen her do. The first one being that short in Satanic Hispanics. I think her ideas and her concepts are really interesting. I definitely like where her head is at. I think I would just want to continue to see her pumping out more and more work and just seeing her get stronger and stronger at it. Between everything that Satanic Hispanics was and her part in it, and then this film, it just seems like she is very much into very surrealist horror. And I don't want to say grindhouse, although I guess like the amount of blood in this, the visuals, everything, it does kind of meet that. It does kind of remind me of like a Robert Rodriguez film or a Quentin Tarantino film. There's a movie, one of the reviews talked about how there's a movie from the 70s, Ron, that this film reminded them of. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe from the 70s, maybe not. It was called Homebodies. It was a 1974 black comedy that was about a community of frail old retirees who turn out to be surprisingly vigorous and even homicidal in defending their homes from the callous forces of market-driven progress. So kind of the same premise, similar premise, but it's called Homebodies. Did you ever heard of it?
I don't think so. Although maybe in that one, they actually do band together and work together as a team instead of...
Yeah, maybe that's your movie, Homebodies movie.
Maybe that's the movie I should have watched.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up. Yeah, I've never heard of that. It looks funny, though. It looks cute. Ian Wolfe, Ruth McDevitt, Peter Bracco, Francis Fuller, Paula Truman, Linda Marsh, and Douglas Foley. Yeah. Where would you know what I was realizing the other day? We're like, 3 movies into the new year? We've done no, where would you rank this on a light switch scale? We forgot to do that. So where would you rank this one on the light switch scale?
You don't need a light.
Yeah, this was not scary.
Yeah, no.
There wasn't even, surprisingly, there were not jump scares in this movie.
Nope, not at all.
It's an easy watch. I think it's worth watching just because if you've never seen Gigi Saul Guerrero's work, I think she's a director that's worth getting familiar with because I think that she's going to probably be continuing to make interesting stuff. And like I said, I think she'll only get better at it. Let me see what else she's got coming up. She's the one. Okay. This is another one, Veronica, that we should look into. She's the one who did Culture Shock. Yeah, I think this is also part of the Blumhouse movies, the Blumhouse whatever. It was a Hulu original, but she did a film called Culture Shock, and it was the Welcome to the Blumhouse anthology was sort of just the idea being that they would feature cool filmmakers with unique perspectives, unique stories, and this is sort of one of them. And there was a review that sort of talked about how Bingo Hell and Culture Shock are perfect examples of Gigi Saul Guerrero's, she tends to sort of take the American dream and really focus on what's perverse or depraved about it. I remember sending this one to you as this might be interesting to check out sometime. Let me see if I can find a synopsis of it. All I know is that the little I've read is the thriller follows a young Mexican woman in pursuit of the American dream who crosses illegally into the United States only to find herself in an American nightmare. That's the blurb on it. And it stars Martha Higuereda as Marisol Ramirez, Richard Cabral, Sean Ashmore, Barbara Crampton, and Creed Bratton. And I think it's also billed as like a comedy. No, it's just horror thriller. Would you say that this was like or did you have any laugh out loud moments at this movie?
I had no laugh moments. No laugh. Not even a chuckle.
Other than the white guy moment, that was funny. He's a white guy. I thought I did laugh out loud with that. But yeah, there weren't really too many laugh out loud moments. I did find Dolores and Lupita's relationship endearing, even if a little bit all over the place, roller coastery. Lupita's kind of a hot mess is part of what it is. She's just
very charge forward and doesn't really stop to consider other people's
right. Yeah.
thoughts. Although I did think that, well, if this Morris guy, no one's heard from him, he hasn't shown up for his appointments, he's not answering his phone, nobody seems like she's the only one that's let's go check on him, let's just go by his house, and everybody's no, just
yeah.
and Dolores is no, because apparently his wife has recently passed, like within the last year. I think they said 6 months. Well, that's all the more reason to go check on somebody.
Right?
Like if you haven't heard from them and they're suffering a loss, like, maybe go check on them.
But yeah, she's a little bit pushy. She's a little
Very
bit
pushy.
She's a little bit driven. She's impulsive, consistently up and down is how I would describe her.
Her approach to life is just to like bulldoze her way through.
So I don't know. Like I have not seen any other film in this anthology. I did notice like there is culture shock, and then there's another film in this Blumhouse anthology called Madres, which I've also sent to you before, Ron, to consider. So I mean, there's other movies, and I'm wondering if you take a look at the full, and they're all like separate individually, very vastly individually different stories. So they're not related to one another. I don't think that they connect in any way. It would be interesting to see some of those other stories and compare to this one. Yeah. To kind of get a sense of what is this. Oh, so in 2023, so this came out in 2021. In 2023, there was a VHS 85, which is like a found footage horror anthology. So I think she probably has a short in that. Okay.
I do like a found footage.
I haven't seen any of them. And there's been a number of them. How do you feel about those? You've said before, like Satanic Hispanics, you were pleasantly surprised by the idea of anthology films. You're not really a huge fan of?
Well, not just
they're so
films.
short.
Like not just films. I'm not a big fan of like anthologies in books or even just short stories, because I feel like I don't have enough time to get pulled in, to get really invested. And if I start to get invested, then it's over. And so I just don't find them satisfying. It's like when you're hungry and you're just
right.
You're in one of those expensive restaurants where they just give you like minuscule little portions, and it's like,
yeah, it's just it's not fulfilling either because you didn't get enough, or because you didn't get enough.
I didn't have time to settle into it before. Well, it's done. It's over.
Yeah. With reading anthologies, I do okay. I mean, I enjoy those fine, but with anthology movies, I don't know. Like I liked Satanic Hispanics because I liked the idea that it's like, yes, it's all these separate little movies, but there is
the connective thread.
There was a connective thread. And I have not seen any of the VHS movies, so I don't know if that's true here.
Even without the connective tissue in Satanic Hispanics, I still enjoyed, like, I don't remember the names of them, or even if they had names, but the one with the vampires, I am the bat.
Yeah.
And then the one with the man who was, what was it? In the house, and he's in an apartment or a house, and he's seeing something, but it only documents, like he's filming it with his phone. Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember the Rubik's Cube one, and her mother, the Mother Earth type person. I don't know that her name was Mother Earth. Her name was something in the short, and then I remember the bat guy. Tell me more about it.
Well, what do you remember? What was the Rubik's Cube one for you?
The Rubik's Cube. I just remember he solves, maybe, am I making it up? Yeah, he had a Rubik's Cube that he could solve. He like solved it very fast. And there was like the corpse in his dining room.
That's the one. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Remember where he's like, he's filming something in his hall, and then like the pizza guy shows
like a
up,
light
and he's
sequence.
like, the pizza guy shows up. He's like, hey, come here. Do you see that? And
that's that Damien Rugna. That's whose work we've seen.
So those two segments, I really like. I did enjoy those.
Okay, well, yeah, you can watch this one totally in the dark, guys. You'll be fine. Hey, do you remember, just for consistency, I know you don't even remember these films at this point, but I don't even remember the name of the movie. Hey, God, hold on. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? That was the first movie we watched this year. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. With the little critters. You can watch that one.
With the little girl?
Dark. Yeah, the little girl. You can watch that one in the dark, right? Where would you rank that one? Maybe like a light?
Low watt bulb.
A low watt bulb. The next one we watched, then we did book club, but the next movie we watched, Apocalypse Z. Where would you rank that one?
That's the one with the zombies?
Mm-hmm. I don't know that there were jump scares. I find zombies generally scary.
Maybe one light on.
Yeah. With zombies, it's always good to have a light on. I know I had told you, hey, do monthly recommendations time. And then, like, did I have time to recommend anything?
Well,
nope.
I know we both have watched The Burbs. So
that's right.
Fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was fun.
I am curious to see what the second season's.
Yeah. If they get
Yeah,
one,
like
I don't think a second season has been announced yet. It
happens.
ends on a cliffhanger. No spoilers, but it ends on a cliffhanger. So I
It's
hope there's a
it's
second season.
yeah, I mean, it's fun. There are really hilarious characters in it that I thought were just like laugh out loud, funny.
You live in a cul-de-sac, or do you have quirky neighbors?
I mean, so I think I told you this, but like when we first moved into the cul-de-sac, it took us a minute to adjust to this because you have a well-rounded 360 view of people. And so like Alex, he works here during the day and the desk stares out the window. So he would just be spying on neighbors all day long. And sometimes I would go stand in the front window and just be looking out the window. And like, we look creepy as hell. I've gotten used to it now. I know all the neighbors. They're pretty boring. Like there's nothing particularly interesting about them. That sounds terrible, but well, yeah, I don't want to like talk about it too much. Our next door neighbor guy is probably the most interesting individual, and that he's just like, he's divorced now. He was married when we moved in. He's divorced now, and his kids live with him. I think he's like the primary person. So it's just like, anytime we've talked to him, and we have talked to him, he's not, I don't get the impression he's hiding bodies over there. I think he's fine. So
You never know.
you never know.
But
It's always the one you don't suspect. He is the one who got the cat arrested. Remember when I told you a cat wandered into his backyard that belongs to people down the street, and he called the cops on this cat? Police showed up with a carrier, scooped up the cat, took the cat away, and Alex and I are watching this and just thinking, oh my God, they're taking, because we know that cat and we know the people who own it. And so Alex is messaging them like, hey, the cops have your cat. But as it turns out, the police officer was just driving it right down the street, parked, and got out and delivered the cat back to them.
Oh.
And it's just like,
because the man couldn't do that.
exactly.
Couldn't
And the
take
cat
the
had
cat to
a
his
collar. The cat had a collar. All you had to do was call the number on the collar. So anyway, he's one of those. Is there anything else you're taking in right now?
I watched the first 2 episodes of a show on, where is it? I don't remember if it's on Amazon Prime or Netflix, but it's called Bodies.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
I guess kind of sci-fi, because it's 3 detectives in like 4 different time periods. One in the future, one in the present, and then 2 like one in like World War II era, and then another one like in Victorian era, that all find the exact same body corpse in the same street. It's set in London. So
first 2 episodes, but it seems you're
interesting.
enjoying it. Yeah.
I haven't had time to go back to it to pick it up again, but I was intrigued.
I have taken a look, now that we have this Peacock app with the Olympics over, I don't know how much longer we'll have it, but I did take a look to try and see, well, what other shows does it have that I might be interested in? Nothing really jumped out at me, but I will say their movie collection is interesting, and I did take a look at their horror movie arsenal.
They do have the original Burbs movie on there, I believe I saw.
Really? Well, yeah. So, that would be worth watching for you. I should watch it too. And just to say that I've seen it, I've never seen it.
You've never seen the Burbs?
I told you this last episode. We just discussed this. I've never seen it. I always thought it was a scary movie, and I was little, and I didn't want to see it.
You need to go watch it. It's a fun movie.
No, but I took a look at like some of the horror movies that they have, and they have a pretty good arsenal of horror films. I can't think of like off the top of my head.
You need to go watch the Burbs.
I'll have to go watch it.
Because the librarian in the Burbs, the TV show, the current show, she was one of the quirky neighbors in the movie.
Well, did you see? Can I say this, or is this a spoiler?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to tell me.
I don't think it's a spoiler. If you were to go and look at the cast for the Burbs TV show, I'm sure he shows up. Did you catch Corey Feldman's cameo in it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, because I remember you saying you couldn't remember which Corey, but you had it right, Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
So
it's just for expectation purposes. It's not like set in the same universe as the movie. So it's not canon. It's not like this is a new crop of people living in the same neighborhood. Valerie mentioned it's its own thing, but they do drop a lot of Easter eggs for people that are a fan of the movie. Like when they're in the house, Todd or somebody compliments. Yeah. Oh, is that no, I think it's the main lady, whatever her name is. I can't remember. Samira? Yeah. Compliments them. Oh, is that your family in the picture? And the response was like, no, it came with the frame. Well, that's taken directly out of the movie. That happens in the movie. And then when the husband says, God, I love this street, that's a Corey Feldman line from the movie. So lots of little Easter eggs for fans of the movie.
Okay,
sprinkled
that's
throughout.
good. That's good to know. I like it when they pay homage to the source material. Our book that we just selected and announced last episode, guys, we're reading that. Is it this? Hold on. God, why am I so terrible at this? This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. Shout out to Mother Horror. Mother Horror just recently posted her review of this read. And so if you don't follow her on social media, go follow her, Mother Horror. But she had positive things to say about it. I did let Veronica know, and I'm letting you guys know, evidently there is a dog element, something with a dog that she wanted to give people a warning about. She has said before, and we have said before, we're not real big on animal violence in books or films. Mm-hmm. So I'm anticipating that it's something like that. Just be aware, trigger warning for us and for you if you read this book with us, that could be an element to watch out for and to skip if you want to.
Sounds good.
That's it. Do you have anything else?
No, ma'am.
Alrighty, my friends. I will tell you, and I can't remember if I texted you this, Ron, or not, but I am kind of hoping that we can do another live stream in March. So our next session would be March 8th. We will post information about that and invite you to that live stream if you want to. If you're part of our Patreon, you're going to get invited automatically. But if you are not part of our Patreon, we will link that for you in show notes. Please go join us. It's free to join, and you'll have access to that stuff. So look for us there. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Don't Watch at Night is a Nest production. Executive producers are Valerie and me. Editing by Valerie. Music by Omar Chakor. Special thanks to Lorenzo Villarreal and Alex Street for production support for this episode. Listen to any new episodes every other Monday, and if you like our show, give us a rate and a review. It's the best way to help us grow.